Today, Jessica and I are in Orlando, Florida, visiting the site of the Pulse Nightclub shooting, June 12th, 2016. 49 people lost their life in the building that's behind us. Today, the video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a montage of what they have going on here in remembrance to those 49 lives. It's crazy. It's sad. It's nice that they have something like this still going on. This memory.
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
We do want to update you on the breaking news out of Orlando, the terror attack on a gay nightclub. Right now, at least 20 are dead, maybe more. The shooter also dead. Police say that he was well prepared, he was organized. They do not believe that he was from the area. More than 40 have been taken to a local hospital.
I gotta be honest, it is a tad bit overwhelming being here. I mean, 2016 was only a couple years ago. Here in the community, the security guard that we talked to, she was very, very nice, very, very informative, told us a bunch of things about what happened here. We're always about respect, and we're not filming the video on the property. Right now I'm standing kind of in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot right across the street. There are people over there paying their respects. This is a heavy one. A heavy location. The building is still there, but it is not in use. Instead, it is a standing memorial for those who died here. It's actually a quite nice memorial considering what happened. The security guard that we talked to did say that the building has been unused since June 12th, 2016, when the Pulse nightclub shootings happened. Right now, that memorial, that wall, the Pulse wall, is pretty permanent. In the future, she did say that they are planning on having something more permanent in a different location. But that's the Pulse nightclub here in Orlando, Florida. Not much has changed to the actual building itself. Even the sign outside looks exactly as it did. However, what has changed is this little area below it where you can actually sign your name if you choose to go there and visit. And at nighttime, it lights up. We signed our names there. Well, we actually wrote it there, but it's actually quite beautiful to see at nighttime. Surrounding most of the building is this wall that's filled with pictures, and in certain areas of this wall you'll find plexiglass windows that if you look through it, you'll actually see like a glimpse into the Pulse nightclub. For instance, right here is a list of 48 of the 49 people, victims who have died that night. One of them chose to remain anonymous, and that little dove up there represents that person. To the left of the building is the first responders wall where they breached the nightclub. The security guard told us about it and said, be careful when you go back there because it is actually quite heavy. And if you look through this plexiglass area, which I'm coming up on, you'll see these tan colored holes. They've been patched over, but that's where the first responders broke into the club to free the hostages. That one right there that you can see my shadow in, that's the main one, and that is also where the shooter was killed. That's what it looked like back then. You can see the bullet holes around that main hole right there. And that hole right there is when the first responders ripped out the AC unit so they can get to the building. The iconic glass fountain wall was one of the things that people associated with Pulse nightclub. It was very famous. Here it is restored, but on the night of the shootings, it had to be destroyed so the first responders can get through and save the hostages and pull the bodies out. Here's a shot of the entrance and the exit to the club, and to the right here of your screen, that's where the patio would have been. Here's a sign welcoming you to the Pulse Intern Memorial, talking about the 49 angels who came there seeking joy and love and acceptance, and instead they found horror and hatred. It's attached to a fence that has a bunch of banners and pictures of the men and women who lost their life that night. I'm going to have to say that this was probably the hardest part of visiting this area because it actually puts a name, a face, and a name to the tragedy. Most of the time, communities, when something like this happens, they choose to forget about it. They either destroy the building or they don't want to talk about it. The community here really embraced the families and those who were affected by it. Here's some more pictures of those who lost their life and little trinkets and things attached to the fence. If you do find yourself in Orlando, Florida, be sure to stop at the Pulse Nightclub and pay your respects. Check out the wall.
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.